This video is going in the question and answer playlist. I got a comment on the video I uploaded last night, and I have to point this out. Charlie Teese, you tugged at my heartstrings. Let's read this. I'm a junior software engineer, and I don't write a line of code without failing a unit test first. Awesome, epic, you got it down. I write useful comments, small methods, solid, kiss, all that. I get all my code peer-reviewed, yet I never get any advice on how to improve. Rather rejections for, "Oh, you've changed some of the code that I wrote earlier. Thus you must be wrong. Rejected." I have to put up with childish behavior, mockery, no guidance, and a strong blame culture. I don't mean to come across as moaning, but I'm starting to wonder if software development is the right career for me. The reason this tugs at my heartstrings, Charlie, is because I had a horrible experience coming straight out of college and into industry. And I thought, oh man, I've picked the wrong field. This is horrible. But I'm going to tell you what, you can fix it. You can fix it fast. Let me tell you about my experience. Remember the whole 4.0 valedictorian thing? I thought, oh, I've got a golden ticket. I'm going to get a big, awesome job until I sat down at one of the last hurrahs as a software engineer, and this guest speaker came to our college, our university, right when I was about to graduate. He said, you guys aren't going to get jobs. All your jobs are being outsourced outside the United States because companies can find programmers who are cheaper outside the United States. I was like, oh no, I just got my degree and I'm going to have to go work at the fast food joint I worked at in high school. That's kind of scary. All right, I was kind of freaking out. I was young. I was naive. I didn't have anyone to kind of point me where to go or what to do. And so, what do? I know most of you live outside the United States, so nothing against any of you in any other country. But this is what was preached to me, and it was kind of a punch in the face. Like, you know what, Jamie, just wasted all this time learning awesome stuff, but you're not going to get a job in it. It's like, oh no. Well, this job ended up in my inbox, in my email. And I applied, and they interviewed me, and they hired me, and I was like, wow, I did it. I got a job in industry at $42,000 a year. Right? That's pathetic salary for anyone with any kind of skill in software engineering. $42,000 a year. But I didn't know. I was excited. I was like, I finally got a job. That guy said I wasn't going to get a job. I got a job. Right? There was about 10 people in that company. 2 were software engineers. It was me and my boss. I showed up on day 1. My boss kind of told me this and that, and I was excited. I was going to get my industry experience, my hands-on. Oh, so pumped. And once my boss kind of oriented me, what I was supposed to do and the work, he proceeded to play a video game. I'm like, okay, taking a break, that's fine. Until the video game took about 4 to 6 hours of the workday. Holy smokes, 4 to 6 hours on video game? Okay, well, it must be a freak thing. Guess what? He did that every single day. Like 2 or 3 weeks into this, I'm like, I'm dying. I am mentally dying. I'm so glad to have a job, but I'm dying. I wanted to progress and learn and build real applications and get my industry experience. And I was so pumped for this. And there's my boss spending 4 to 6 hours a day. I wasn't learning. I wasn't growing. I wasn't in a crab culture. It sounds like you're in this crab culture where, childish behavior, mockery. I'm trusting what you're saying here. I only have your point of view here, but no guidance, strong blame culture. All right, you nailed it. Here's like the biggest word in your comment is culture. Let me tell you straight up. Every company has a culture. And I was in a culture that was horrible, but I didn't know what to do. Let me introduce you to somebody. This is Dale Hull, a good friend of mine. He died a few years ago. When I was in undergraduate studying computer science, Dale hired me to teach him how to code. For those of you on my channel saying, hey, am I too old to get into this industry? This guy was in his 60s and he was changing career paths and he hired me to teach him computer science. You're never too old, but that's another video for another day. And I got to tell you something about this Dale Hull guy. He ended up teaching with me at the university a few years after that. And he was crazy. A student would complain or whine or cry. Dale would reach into his pocket and he'd pull out a knife and he'd say, do you want to have any children? I was like, Dale, you can't. Dale, you're going to get fired. You can't do that. Don't do that, Dale. He's like, I'm old. I don't care. I'm going to die soon. So what do I care? This kid needs to buck up and shut up. And I was like, Dale, okay. All right, well, just keep me out of it. But the students absolutely loved him. He's like that hard coach where, yeah, you hate them when you're getting yelled at and chewed out, but in the end, you end up winning every single game. I had a coach like that in 7th grade. Everybody hated him, but we went undefeated in football that year. It was awesome. I tutored Dale for a couple semesters. He paid me well. I graduated, got this horrible job, and after a few months, Dale's like, hey, Jamie, why don't I come up and visit you? Let's see how things are going. I'm like, okay. Dale came in, met my coworkers, interacted with some people, saw what I was working on, which was kind of nothing because I couldn't figure out anything because the boss was playing video games all day long, wouldn't explain anything to me. And Dale said, Jamie, let's go to lunch. Let's go to lunch. I was naive. I was young. I was fresh out of college. I didn't know. Dale sat me down and said, Jamie, you got to quit. You got to get out of there. You are way better than that place. That place is going to take you nowhere. You're not going to grow. You're not going to learn. Man up and get a new job. And I was like, Dale, I've only been here 3 months. If I try to apply to a new place, they're going to reject me saying, why are you a quitter? Why are you quitting your brand new job so fast to come work for us? Dale's like, you know what, Jamie? It'll work out. Just apply. Okay. I went back to work. I was stressing out. And my boss later that afternoon said, oh, yeah, my cousin's going to this new computer science school. It's called North Face University. And I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. I got nothing better to do. I'll look up the school. And I looked up North Face. And, there's a careers button. Well, let me click that careers button. Click. Ooh, they're hiring. Thanks for the tip, boss. I applied. Within a week, I was working at the university. That started my teaching career. And it was awesome. It was awesome. So let me just tell you, Charlie, if the situation is what you really describe here, and you're kind of fresh, you're young, you called yourself junior. What's the difference between junior and senior? I don't even call myself senior. But if you feel like software development isn't the right career for you, you're just working at the wrong place. All right? Culture. You nailed it right here with that culture word. Dice.com, Indeed.com. Hit those websites, find a new job. Right? There's a culture in Silicon Valley, and you'll see this especially if you ever visit the Google campus. But most positions in Silicon Valley, people are humble, but they're intelligent. They're hardworking. They work together as groups, and they help each other out. They intellectually stimulate each other. It's just awesome. And if you're not at a place like that, you don't have to move to Silicon Valley, but I can guarantee you wherever you live, there's jobs like that waiting for you. Okay, all you got to do is make it happen. Take some advice from my friend Dale Hull. Get out. Go apply. The demand for software engineers, especially in the United States right now, is way through the roof. That guy telling me that my job is going to get outsourced, totally wrong. The demand is way up here for skilled software engineers. Guess what? The supply is down here. Huge gap. You know what happens when there's a huge gap? Big money, all right? We didn't go into this career for big money, but it's nice when the money comes, isn't it? And I bet you can find an awesome job with awesome people, no matter what their age is, that can stimulate you and not have this crabby culture. It's so much better for you. Don't be dumb like me and stick with the job or think you had to stick with the job. Take some advice from Dale. Get out. For those of you who are in industry, please help Charlie out. What have been your experiences similar to mine? Have you had a job you just realized you had to get out? What did you do to get out? When did you realize you were going to get out? I need some help here. Please contribute to Charlie's concern. Drop it in the comments. Thank you as always.